guys, how are we today? Excuse me, sorry. How are we today? It's good to see you, Heatherlicious. And Aaron, how are you? It's good to see you guys. I was going to start my show today about three missing kids from Tennessee, but one article I read said they had been found, so that's wonderful, you guys. I was really worried about it because it wasn't just a custodial interference like that sometimes happens. Um, the mother and the stepdad, it looks like they closed their doors to their business, and it looks like they closed their doors to their business, and all their employees, so all their employees didn't get paid right before Christmas, and they had taken off, and they were from Tennessee, and they had been seen in Colorado, but I think that they are safe now, so that's wonderful. And I don't care a bit if I look into stuff and it's a lot of work and it ends happily before I can talk about it. That's just fine. That's great, actually. I love that. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about usually also I don't like to talk about cases that have been quote unquote solved, but in this one today there is a I can kind of there's no it there's two victims in my opinion, and by speaking about these things I think that bringing awareness to these things could possibly prevent them in the future. There was a lot of instances where this could have been prevented, and so I wanted to talk to you guys about that. This is a very heavy topic today, so I understand if you need to skip this live, and I'll see you next time. You'll notice in the banner going across the bottom of my screen it says, please use discretion and remember self-care, as these topics can be very upsetting. And that's especially true in this case. Yep. Aaron, thank you so much for posting that. This does involve a lot of domestic violence today that I wanted to talk to you guys about. So we'll just go ahead and get started. Let me see here. Oh, I gotta switch something up here. Hang on just 1 second and I'll come back and get you guys. I was in the wrong folder. I was looking at happy stories last. Okay. So first I wanted to tell you about the two people involved today. I'll start with Tanya. Her name is spelled Tanya, and but it's pronounced Tanya. And her last name, I've heard people say Saucier or Saucier, so I'm not really for sure about that. But she is 49 years old, and she is an Army veteran, and she retired from the Army in 2014, and she has two daughters and a son and two grandchildren. One looks to be about 5, and the other one is a itty bitty baby. And she was deployed in Iraq, and so she was a combat veteran, and so she absolutely gets my thanks for her service from all of us. I've been reading stuff on Facebook. You guys know how it is, but it was also in a news article that someone said that she had a lot of PTSD from her time overseas, and I do have a Facebook post from her talking a little bit about that, so we'll look at that too. Yeah, but she's also a nurse, and when she retired from the Army in 2014, one article I read said that she moved back to her hometown. So this took place in Mississippi, you guys. I think it's called Poplarville, Mississippi. And when she first moved back, she took over a antique shop that her dad was running, and she took that over. And so she said that he could get out to his workshop and things like that. But that business has since closed. Hey, Debbie, how are you? It's good to see you. Hey, Neat Noodle, it's good to see you too. Thank you guys so much for coming. I wanted to warn you guys too, and just mention it when some new people come in. Today is a very heavy topic about domestic violence. So if anybody needs to skip out today, it's totally understood. Um, and also, I want to, since this is for the Veterans Crisis Line, Tanya was a United States Army veteran of 12 years. That's what I was just telling everybody. And so there's some in it. There's the helpline for that. A veteran actually gave me that helpline, and she said that it's a very good resource. So I've kept it in my notes all this time. But so when she moved back to her hometown in 2017 is when she took over that antique shop. And but it since has closed. But she also liked to do this thing that I had no idea about. It's called field trials, and it's where they get these. I don't know what kind of breed they are. Maybe beagles. They get these hunt dogs, and they set them out in the woods, and they're the ones that chase the deer and things like that. And then when the hunter, but I think most of all she liked to do the competitive side of it, and her Facebook is full of her dogs going to all these competitions and things like that. And she was very, very proud of that. Hey Tony, how are you? Good afternoon, it's good to see you. And so after the antique shop, I knew that she was doing the field trials with her dogs and things like that. And let me see here. So then, so this is a Facebook post that I wanted to read. This is her Facebook is she did shared a lot of herself on Facebook, and that's why I do have a lot more from her than with James, the victim in this instance. I couldn't find a whole lot about him, but I will tell you guys about him in just a few minutes. But I'm just saying, I tried, I looked. But it says, with Veterans, so this is from 2017. It says, with Veterans Day coming up, I am thankful for my life-changing event, and I thank God for sparing my life. I know I have a lot of unfinished business. I am thankful for the Warrior Transition Battalion in Augusta, Georgia, the social workers, psychiatrists, psychologists, occupational therapist, nurse care manager, teams, leadership, and TBI, which is traumatic brain injury, and PTSD clinic workers at Charlie Norwood, Virginia. Oh, veteran affairs in Augusta, Georgia. These people went above and beyond to help me with my transition out of the Army. They ultimately saved my life. I'm no longer embarrassed about the issues I have. I'm a realist and understand I'm not the only one. Hey, Jen, how are you? It's so good to see you. I am. How are you? Hey, Brad, good to see you too. Um, she says, I'm a realist and understand that I'm not the only person who have post-traumatic stress disorder. PTSD is more than just being startled. It is anxiety, anger, depression, hypervigilance. It is not being able to do a lot of public spaces or situations. Most avoid or limit interactions with others. Sometimes it gives you a feeling of going from sugar to shit. It's not being weak. People have to be strong as hell to live with this. Some hide these things very well and pay the ultimate price, death. Suicide is not being selfish. It's a battle that the person has lost. Everyone's ability to fight is different. It's not funny or quote unquote crazy, as some would say. Um, some of the hardest people have the hardest battles with it. It is an environmental thing. It affects people of all walks of life. However, I'm focusing on our veterans. So much has been done her soldiers with it, and I appreciate that, but so much more can and needs to be done. It's not always just a medicinal thing, just a show of appreciation and respect, especially when transitioning back to civilian life helps. Please stop using the term crazy. This deters people from wanting to get help because of the stigma. These people have given up so much to serve beyond what the average person sees and does. It's a lot more than 22 a day. This was the sweetest lady. She loved her 3 kids and would do anything for anybody. She's not just another number. She is human and lost her battle and will never be forgotten. Rest in peace, sweet lady. And she did attach a picture of a soldier. So I guess it was one of her combat, somebody that was in combat for her, but I didn't think it was right showing in that picture. Hey, cutie pie, how are you? Hey, Trista, it's good to see you. No problem. So I wanted to share that with you guys. This was a big deal to her. And one of her family members did mention in an article I read that she had a lot of problems with PTSD, and when she came back from her time overseas, that it was noticeable. Okay. Let me see what else I have. So this is her at her shop, her antique shop that she ran after she retired from the Army. And so now we get to James Ray Saucier. He was 62 years old when he lost his life last Tuesday. He retired from a shipbuilding business. Ingalls Shipbuilding was the name of it. And they said that he was a fisherman and a hunter, and he had a son and daughter and 7 grandchildren. So, in this instance, let's see, 5 children have lost their parents, and 9 grandchildren have lost their mama and papa. So, that is awful. And like I said, I usually don't talk about cases that are quote unquote solved, but in this instance, I think we can learn a lot from. Jen, I know, she says, my chat isn't giving me an option of all or top chat. I know, it won't let me do that, and it won't let Debbie do that, and it won't let us switch the, time. It won't let us switch to subscribers only. For some reason, it's if you mod in that chat, it won't let you see it for some reason. It's so weird. I don't know. Brat can still see it because she hasn't updated her YouTube yet. So she's the only one that can do it for us. And so then I'm not sure when they first got together, Tanya and James, but I found this on her Facebook in April of 2018. She said, I don't know what happened to my post, but let me try this again. I originally said, the good Lord sure blessed me when he put this man in my life. I couldn't have asked for a more caring, respectful, genuine man. I am truly thankful that in his words, he Facebook stalked me, LOL. So they did get married in 2018. This is him. And he was buying her Valentine's stuff she was posting about, and it seemed like they did a lot of things together, and they had a good relationship at first, but some articles I read said it started out bad from the beginning, so I don't know. Yeah, this is them when they first got married in 2018. It's beautiful, beautiful wedding. And he still had her tagged on his Facebook. This is from 2020. So they look really happy there too. And this is them too. And this is her Valentine's gift. I forget which year that was from. And so now we have to get to the not so good stuff. You guys know how that is. I am going to share a Facebook post with you guys, but this is only if you want to look at it. I'm going to share the link in the comments, and it is very, very graphic. Tanya is showing pictures of a shooting that happened in 2023, September the 1st, 2023. It is very, very graphic. Only look at it if you feel that you can take it. Yeah, there it is, but I will read it to you guys. So it says, this is on September 9th. She was in the hospital for 8 days. And so this must have been when she first got out of the hospital. It says, just an FYI, there's no struggle over a gun when one person is in control of it. Examples given in pics. Another thing, don't just let anybody apply pressure after they've tried to kill you. So don't just sit back and gossip, speculate, and darn well don't believe everything you hear. Some people are just so good at telling a lie. Thank God my family didn't have to go through what they went through with my mama. That's another thing I forgot to tell you guys. When Tanya was 2 years old, a man shot and killed her mother in front of her and her brother, and her two mammals raised her. I hadn't been able to find any articles about it, but according to her post and a family member, that's what happened when she was 2 years old. So that's what she's talking about. And it says, I may be blind in my right eye and deaf in my right ear, but you best believe I still have 2 legs to stand on and a heart that is full of God's blessings and the love of my family and friends. I am blessed. I love y'all. Be blessed. So that is what she posted when she first got out of the hospital. And I am now going to read to you guys her version of events. I don't have any court papers yet, but I will say that he says he wasn't arrested for this incident. It happened on September 1st of 2023, right? He wasn't indicted by a grand jury until the next year. He didn't go to jail right after this happened. And he says that it was self-defense, and his lawyer says it was self-defense. So I'm only going to read Tanya's description of the events because I have it, right? So let me see here. Let me see. Okay. It says, people keep asking why I didn't leave. So this is from November 3rd of 2023. It says, after telling my husband that I want a divorce because of his lying, untrustworthy, drunken, disrespectful ways, I tried leaving. He told his daughter he was about to take care of it, and in minutes he almost ripped my shirt completely off. Big, big warning to you guys. This is all a big, big warning today. He almost ripped my shirt completely off. He finished cutting it off with his pocket knife. He tied it around the door handles of the dining room doors. I tried leaving by going out of the utility room door onto the porch. As I walked out the door onto the porch, he shot me in the face the first time. As I placed my hand over my face eye, he shot me in my chest in the sternum area. I then turned around to try to get behind the utility room wall to try to protect myself. The next thing I remember, I was facing the utility room door, facing towards the storage room. At this point, I couldn't move. I could see everything in front of me, and that's it. I was bleeding profusely, and my hair was full of blood and in my face. He knelt down while pulling my hair out of my face, stating that, bitch, your mama died like this, and you're gonna die like this too. I couldn't move, but I begged the bastard to not kill me. He called 911. When the dispatcher said, 911, what is your emergency? He stated, hurry. There's been a struggle over a gun and someone is shot. The dispatcher asked, could he apply pressure to the wound? At this time, he applied pressure to my airway, causing me not to be able to breathe, not applying pressure to the eye or the chest. I then yelled, "Please stop applying pressure," so that the dispatcher could hear me because he was smothering me. I didn't find out that he was shot in the fatty part of the upper left arm until I was out of the hospital and speaking with the investigator. He never once said he was shot while on the phone with 911 or when the emergency personnel arrived. He never mentioned that he had been shot because he shot himself to make it look like it was a struggle over a gun in self defense. This is according to her, right, guys? Um, Jennifer says, so when she did this to him at the courthouse, she was actually a victim also. I just thought she was an angry lady. Yeah, that's why I wanted to go over it, Jen, because, yeah, she was shot 4 times in the chest and once in the face, and she lost her eye in 2023. So I think that's what I'm saying. This could have been prevented way back. You know, if he was still in jail for this, she wouldn't have had the option to hurt him at the courthouse. Which I am very upset for what she did. Because for one, in one article I read, it said children were so scared and started running and hiding too. This should never happen. Never, ever, ever. But she was a veteran with PTSD, and then with this instance too, So she says that he shot himself here to make it look like a struggle over a gun in self-defense. This is according to her. I do have to say that because she is in jail right now, but he can't tell us his side at all. It says, for the ones in the back that like to talk about stuff that they have no idea what they're talking about. No, I didn't try to kill him multiple times, nor did I cut his testicles off, stab him, or shoot him that day. Whoa, I forgot about that part, you guys. Yes, Jennifer, that's what one article says, that she was very worried for her life and kept her windows boarded up and stuff like that. Hey, Cat Mama, how are you? It says, unfortunately, we had multiple domestic incidents. One just a couple years ago. We had one, I tried to leave then, and when I walked away from him, he hit me in the back of the head with a large framed picture, leaving the shards of glass in my head. He had taken the keys out of everything, so I couldn't. He missed taking them out of his Chevrolet. Once I finally got it out from between the black truck and camper, I tried to leave. He was standing in the driveway in the path of the truck. I went right to avoid him and ran the truck into the house. This is another thing. I did see, I guess it's somebody from that town on Facebook, and they mentioned this, that she ran the truck through the house. Once the truck was stopped, I looked to my left, and he had a brick in his hand and was about to hit me with it. I quickly opened the door and got out and tried to run. I lost my balance and fell. He then got on top of me, hitting me. He stated he whipped my ass, quote unquote. I grabbed him by the testicles so that he would stop and get off of me. I mean, I wasn't letting go. The neighbors called 911 when they seen the truck sitting in the house. I couldn't because he broke my phone by hitting it with a hammer. And I remember seeing the picture of her phone shattered, so this must have been it with the hammer. Yeah. Heather Bratt says, I'm not trying to shame her, but it sounds like she needed DV counseling. Yeah, I think that would have helped a whole lot. Hey, grateful middle-aged cat mama, how are you? It's good to see you. Good to see you. This is a very a case that's full of domestic violence today. So I'm just going to keep warning everybody as they come in. If you have to skip this one, I totally understand, and I'll see you next time. It says we both went to jail for that, and last I checked, I had to help pay for everything that was damaged. Yeah, another incident was when the kids were visiting on Christmas Eve when he was drunk and caused me to have the worst panic attack of my life. Not only did he cause it, he stuck me with an EpiPen, which caused the symptoms to be a lot worse. The ambulance came and transported me to Slidell Memorial, where they did several diagnostic test after kicking him out because he was drunk and causing problems. He followed the ambulance to the hospital while being drunk. The entire time I was there, he kept going out to his truck, drinking his homemade wine his friend had given him. I was diagnosed with a severe panic attack. It was Christmas morning when the ambulance came, and his sisters was in the yard praying as the ambulance was leaving, and the kids had to see this. Another incident was when he had gotten drunk and gotten into an argument with everybody at the house. The neighbors called 911, and when officers arrived, he was belligerent with them. They talked some sense into him to calm him down. He was still working at Ingles. He had taken his little Toyota car to feed up down at the dog yard and ran it into the hole where he burns trash. He scraped his left shin and had cellulitis from it. He called into work because he was still drunk and went to the doctor for his leg. So why didn't I leave? I was stupid. I was stupid for thinking he would change for the better. This right here, this is a sentence I have noticed that a lot of women and men too think. And we always have to remember that men could be victims of domestic violence too. And if we could hear from his side, he might say that he was the victim, you know? We never know. Grateful middle-aged cat mama says, yep, DV counseling is key. It takes 7 to 12 times to leave and most dangerous time. Yep, when you try to leave, that's definitely the most dangerous time. That's all right, grateful middle-aged cat mama. We that's more views. It's all right if you're on 2 accounts. It says, I wasn't dependent upon him. I can very much take care of myself as he was dependent upon me and my benefits from the military. I love this man dearly and just tried to look at the positives while overlooking all of that. It didn't get better, and my anxiety, PTSD, got a lot worse even when on the meds, which in the end caused me to not want to be around him or have anything to do with him due to his selfish ways. When I'm done, I've tried everything and it didn't get better, and I'm done. So before you gossip and judge folks, maybe you should mind your business, get your facts straight, or walk a mile in my shoes. So I did want to read this is from people on Facebook. I didn't have time to edit it to take their names out, but I will read you what they say. It says, y'all, she went crazy in Afghanistan. I lived down here by them. For the 6 years they have been together, and she gets off her meds, she melts down. She drove the truck through the living room trying to kill him 5 years ago. So that's what she was talking about here, about running the truck through the house. Tried shooting him, and he got the gun away from her, separated, and he let her live in his house, and he stayed in the camper. She burnt the camper with JR in it. She tried shooting him again, and as he was taking the gun away, she pulled the trigger, and the bullet cut the skin on the side of her head. She burnt the house down about a month ago. She was slap crazy and needed to be in a crazy house. James Ray Saucier was a dang good guy. I have known him our whole life. So that's what one of his friends says. That's what he says. And let me see if there's anything else here. So I do want to try to give both sides when I have it. But like I said, she wrote a whole lot on her Facebook, and I didn't see a whole lot from him, you know, so I can only share with you guys what I have. And so she wrote that on November the 3rd, so about 2 months after the incident. And then she also wrote this that I wanted to show you guys. I did find that she tried to get a protective order on him, and for some reason it was filed on 4/2/24, and it wasn't approved until November. So like less than a month ago it was approved for some reason. I have no idea why it took this long to get it approved. Tony says, so sad some people never get a chance to leave these situations. I know, it's so very sad, Tony. Um, and I do want to drop these links again. This is also for the Veterans Crisis Line. Um, Heather Bratt says, not trying to be that person, but of course his friend is going to stick up for him. We'll never know the truth because he's gone, and it would have been a he said, she said situation. Yeah. But there always is the point that is 5 shots really self-defense. You know, I think he would have had a hard time proving that. And he was supposed to go to trial for this March the 4th of 2025. So we'll never know how that turned out either. And it says this is the protective order that took, 7 months to be approved? It says this day, this cause came on for hearing on the motion of the defendant for the court to produce the medical records of the victims in this case. This court finds that a copy of said medical records shall be given to the defense subject to the terms of this protective order. So it sounds like here she was having to give his defense a copy of her medical records. It says the counsel shall receive a copy, but the defendant shall not possess a copy. He shall review the medical records in the defense of his counsel, but they're not allowed to make any more copies. And it is therefore ordered and adjudged that a copy of the medical records be provided to the defense subject to the terms of this protective order. Signed this 26th day of November. So if Trista Scott says, I was never physically abused, thank God, but I've been emotionally and mentally. Well, those are sometimes worse, Trista, because the physical parts heal, but it takes a lot longer for the emotional and mental side of things to heal. Yeah, I've absolutely heard that too. I'm so very sorry. So that takes us to, well, let me read this post. This was on a month after. It says, it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Everybody knows somebody taken too soon. I was once told that I was going to die the same way my mama did. I'll say the devil is a lie. It wasn't my time, and you underestimated my will to live. Not to mention you didn't have the final say. No matter how bad a situation gets, it's not okay to take or try to take anyone's life. Look right here, you guys. I forgot she said this. She says no matter how bad a situation gets, it's not okay to take or try to take anyone's life, but she did, she did. So 1 minute they claim they love you, and then they're trying to take you out. A couple more surgeries to go, but I'm thankful to still be here. And then she adds some text messages between the two. And it says, I appreciate you letting me know that I'm worthless and you'd rather have me dead. Thank you for letting me know I don't belong here, nor do I have a place here on earth. It's nice to know how you really feel about me. So bad you have to keep putting your hands on me. Never again will I touch you. That's what they say too, you guys. Never again. I'm so sorry. It'll never ever happen again. That's what I think, Brat. She says, sounds like she had a serious mental break. Yes, all of this, you guys. And then we also have to remember all that she suffered in Iraq, too. She had pictures of when she was in Iraq, too. So I can't even imagine, And then it says, never again will I touch you. I want so much to get back to where we were. You have got a home right where you are. Nope, I'm not wanted here, and you've made it plain as day. I'm done. You are wanted very much. Please stay. I never said anything about you being worthless. You know you're not. So she posted these for, I believe, September. I just did it, you guys. It's September Domestic Violence Awareness Month. She posted it for that. Or is it October? But that's why she posted that for that. And so that leads us up to Okay, in December, after all this stuff happened in 2023 in September, that same December, she filed for divorce. And it was a October, you're right. September is Spinal Cord Awareness Month, Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Month. So I get them backwards sometimes. Yeah, because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month too. We talked about that all October. I'm sorry, guys. I got a little bit confused. Okay, so after all this happened in December of 2023, she filed for divorce. And so that brings us up to last Tuesday. And I want to show you guys a Facebook Live that Tanya did. She did a lot of Facebook Lives. I think that one article said she did 30 in the past month. But some of them were really, she would always say, stay blessed. And she would talk about her dogs. And a lot of them were very uplifting, but a lot of them talked about the incident and how she felt about that too. But she did one, I believe it was this past Saturday, the 14th. So about 3 days before the incident at the courthouse. And I thought that it would be, yeah, Heather Brad, that's exactly what it is. Information overload. That's why when I'm researching a case, I like to get it all researched and then get it out of my brain and move on to the next one to see how I can help the next one too. I think I just learned about this one Friday, maybe. But yeah, I thought it would be good for us to look at her Facebook Live from 3 days before the shooting. Let me make sure I can get us there. You guys let me know if you can hear it good.
Good morning, y'all. I'm out here doing some rat killing and getting some stuff done. But look, I never wear makeup. I've only worn it a couple times since the incident. And, I said, you're 50. Or 49 going into 50. Every day I'm going to wear makeup. Well, at first I didn't do it. And as I'm sitting there putting on makeup this morning, I kind of got aggravated because, you think about a lot of things when you're by yourself and you think about stuff. Well, people always make the comments of you need to be supportive and have empathy and compassion for individuals. You know, when they have inflicted harm upon themselves, but yet, with whatever it is, but yet, those are things that we can avoid and things that you could change in life. But then there's life changes, especially for us women and men. But there's life changes. And where's the compassion and empathy and the support? Menopause and stuff like that. Just life changes. So as I go to put the mascara on my bottom eyelid.
So she is not only a veteran with PTSD. We know our veterans don't get the support that they deserve, that they worked for, hard for. But she's also a victim of domestic violence. We know maybe they both were victims of each other. I'm not too sure about that. But again, it always goes back to 5 shots is not self-defense. But anyways, and she's going through menopause and she lost one of her eyes, you guys.
Lid. And I have no lashes there. It really irks me. Or whenever I don't have much of an eyelid left down there, but I try to make it look like it is. And I paint my eyeball, my implant, the prosthetic. It really irks me because if you do a little research, the symptoms of menopause is more than just hot flashes. I had a major surgery June 27th of 2023. And this is something I had been trying to do for several years because of the effects of what was happening, ladies, you know. And finally, they did it. And when they did it, it sent me into a full-fledged menopause. I'm not ashamed to talk about it. Menopause.
So did she say that she also had a hysterectomy in September of 2023? So right after she's having surgeries on her eyes, and her the bones in her face were broken so bad, you guys, she had to eat soft foods and things like that. So she probably had surgeries on her jaws too, and her eye, and this. Bless her heart. Bless her, bless her.
And you know what? Those things is things that we cannot help. No matter how much you try to alleviate some of the symptoms, it's just no help. But where's the support from the men, the people that inflict harm upon themselves, that want compassion and empathy? Well, I could tell you from my own experience, when somebody tries to uh, inflict harm upon you, those symptoms do not just go away, regardless of what it is. The symptoms don't go away, they get worse. Okay, imagine how you explain it. Imagine a Karen, Linda, and Regina inside your head playing ping pong. That's what it's like. So when I get to thinking about when somebody purposely and willfully shoots you in the face, regardless of the other stuff, regardless of what kind of rounds it is or whatever, they purposely try to harm you, cause harm upon you. So again, where's the empathy and compassion for those individuals that you inflict harm upon, when you cannot and would not have any for them going through their crisis, whatever it is, but yet you want it? People, you do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. And the thing that topped it all off was when my grandson called me this morning on FaceTime. He says, Nana, what's that on your eyes? I said, oh, Tucker. I said, is it ugly? He said, no, Nana, it's different. He kept looking and looking like he was mesmerized, you know. And I said, well, what do you mean? Is it pretty? He said, yes. I said, you know what? We get more compassion from small children that don't know no better than we do the adults and the people who say they love us. Now, on that note, y'all get out there and be blessed and a blessing to others, and have that compassion and empathy towards others as you would want them to have it towards you.
So that was 3 days before the shooting at the courthouse. So now we come up to last Tuesday. She was supposed to go to the courthouse at 10 a.m. and sign her stuff and get everything done. And then he was scheduled to come at 11 a.m. They said this was all the court that was on the books for that day, just them. And this was going to make it finalized and everything. And so her lawyer said that after they got the paper signed, he got in the elevator and James Ray got in behind him and they just made small talk and stuff. And so when they got out of the when they stepped out of the elevator, she had been waiting in her truck and got out and shot him. I'm hearing anything from 9 to 12 times. And like I told you guys, the some of the children were running for cover and very upset. Her lawyer actually was the one that subdued her. They said that she pointed the gun at him, and he ended up getting it away from her, and a resource officer across the street ran over and helped him, so subdued her until the cops could get there. And yeah, grateful middle-aged cat mama, she had went in first, and she was supposed to be gone and left, but she didn't. She went in first and then waited outside for him. And so um then so after the her lawyer actually took his shirt off and went, and they made tourniquets and tried to save James. Some of the women from the offices there come out. They were praying with him, and were holding his hand and stuff. And it's really touching. And I do have some video of cell phone footage that was taken that day. So I figured that we would look at that. Let me get us back over there. Let me Let me see if this is the one. Yeah. Oh, I forgot I don't know if I told you guys, but the shooting happened on 9/1, and this past August, a grand jury convened and indicted him, and the that's exactly right, Neat Noodle. She says, hope everyone is taking care of themselves this year. Even if you really like Christmas, it is still stressful. So very stressful. You're exactly right. Please check in with yourselves, guys. And it's all right if you don't want to do something. No is a complete sentence, and that's all you have to say. Aaron reminds me of that a lot of times. No is a complete sentence. Yeah, take care of yourselves, guys. Thank you for that reminder, Neat. Um, so it was over a year, well, 11 months, and he was indicted for aggravated assault and domestic violence with a handgun, which makes it worse. It says on or about September 1st in Pearl River County, Mississippi, did willfully, unlawfully, purposely, and feloniously commit an aggravated assault by attempting to cause or causing bodily injury to Tanya Lindell Saucier, a human being, with a deadly weapon or other means likely to produce death or seriously bodily harm. Shooting Tanya Lindell Saucier in the face and body with a Ruger 22 target model semi-automatic handgun bearing serial number and causing her to lose her right eye while she said defendant and Tanya were married contrary to and in violation of section said James Ray Saucier used or displayed a firearm in the commission of said felony crime to wit. Yeah, so he was supposed to go to court in March the 4th, like I said. So their divorce would have been final on Tuesday, and then he would have went to court in March. That's exactly right, Heather Bratt. She says, when I start getting stressed out, I put myself in timeout. It actually helps a lot to have a few minutes to focus on breathing. Yep, box breathing. I always say that. Yep, it really does help. Okay, so now I'll share this with you guys too. We're going to watch this video, and it does have part of the cell phone video that was taken that day. So, like I've been saying this whole time, to take care. I will share it with you guys. So, if you want to watch it later, um, okay.
reveal the chaotic aftermath and heroic actions caught on camera, plus new details from Sheriff's Office investigators about the shocking crime. Noah Noble has been on top of this developing story and starts us off tonight in the studio.
Everyone I've spoken to about this case has praised the life-saving measures from courthouse staff and witnesses just moments after a man was gunned down. I spoke with the lawyer that subdued the alleged shooter, who turned out to be his client.
There is no justification. There is no excuse for anybody to open fire on somebody in a public setting like that.
State Representative Jansen Owen.
This is her lawyer, you guys. He's also a state representative and her divorce lawyer. And also, Neat told me last time about Luigi Mangione that empathy is understanding. It is not excusing. And I believe that's how I feel in this case too. I can definitely understand, but not excuse her actions. I have remembered that ever since Neat told me that. And I think it makes so much sense.
Was Tanya Saucier's divorce attorney. She's the 49-year-old who is charged with first-degree murder for gunning down her husband, James Ray Saucier. This video, taken just minutes after the shooting, shows Jansen and courthouse staff surrounding James Ray, trying to save his life.
I really do have to point out how heroic those girls were that work in our chancery clerk's office. They were out there. He was in their lap. They helped me to apply pressure to his wounds. They took my tie and applied a tourniquet to his wound. So those girls in the chancery clerk's office are real heroes.
I sat down with Chancery Court Clerk Melinda Bowman.
Yesterday was the greatest example of them going above and beyond, and I've never been prouder.
She was emotional as she recalled her staff's actions.
They were all
of these people shouldn't have had to see this either, you guys. I stopped on a bad place.
Ministering to him. They're all deeply committed Christians, as I am. And they knew he was about to close his eyes to this life. And they began talking to him about what was going to happen. They said, all you have to do is run to Jesus. And he looked at Hannah when she said that, and he closed his eyes and he squeezed her hand twice.
The citizens of Pearl River County stepped up. The life-saving efforts that
part really touched me, you guys. Those ladies should not have had to see and deal with what they had to deal with that day either. Those are victims that Tanya made. Tanya made those additional victims. They absolutely are victims. And it did touch me how that they helped him in that time. I'm sure they had heard what had been going on, and but they still helped him and prayed with him and things like that, and that really touched me. Yeah, they'll never be able to unsee what they seen, Heather.
our citizens attempted for Mr. Saucier was phenomenal.
Pearl River County Sheriff's Office lead investigator Scott Alley says in the hours leading up to the shooting, the Saucier's divorce proceedings were underway in Chancery Court, the only case on the docket.
The meeting for the Sauciers and their respective attorneys with the judge to finalize the divorce proceedings was an impromptu, unscheduled meeting.
Jansen Owen says because of the Saucier's volatile relationship, Tanya was not supposed to even be at the courthouse when James Ray showed up to finalize the divorce proceedings around noon Tuesday.
I was leaving the building. Mr. James Ray was leaving right behind me, at which point I heard gunfire and determined that Miss Tanya had opened fire. I saw her continue to shoot at Mr. James Ray. She approached me, at which point I grabbed her and held her there against the vehicle.
What happened whenever you put her up against the car?
She was screaming and yelling like a psycho.
I submitted a public records request for security camera footage from the courthouse to get a clearer picture, but I was told there are no security cameras at the courthouse.
So we said that if he would have been, he did get, when I read those charges to you guys, he did get $100,000 bond, but of course he made bond and was out. That's one thing that could have been changed. If he was still in jail, he wouldn't have been here to do this. And another thing is, of course, if Tanya would have gotten the help that she needed, for the PTSD and all this stuff. And then also, if they had cameras at the courthouse, maybe they would have seen her and been like, she's still here. She was supposed to leave. Something's off. So that's another thing that sticks out in my mind about this.
It's something that Owen says is a problem at many Mississippi courthouses, and an issue that lead investigator Allie told me is being addressed.
We do have some funding that we procured through federal appropriations that the sheriff's office is working with the county administrator and our board of supervisors to address the camera issue and other security measures. So there is a recognized need for enhanced security there.
Now, it's worth noting that in August, James Ray Saucier was indicted for aggravated assault domestic violence for allegedly shooting Tanya. But James Ray's attorney, Donald Rafferty, told me he was acting in self-defense. And Jansen Owen even noted what Tanya did was unjustifiable. Mackenzie.
So this is another courthouse that does not, remember Letcher County. Well, they did have cameras, but we know why they had cameras in that instance. But they didn't have metal detectors there, which we know the sheriff probably would have gotten his gun through anyways. But it shows a lack of security at all these courthouses, which definitely needs to be fixed. There's no excuse for not having those. There is an article that I wanted to read you guys that shows a little bit more, that told a little bit more about what Tanya was going through. Let me come back and get you guys, and then I'll let you guys go after this. I have 2 happy videos to show you guys before we go that Trista sent me. So we will watch those to leave us on a good note. So this says 2 families are grieving as a troubled marriage ends with one person dead and another behind bars. A cell phone caught chaos outside a Mississippi courtroom on camera as an estranged couple's divorce proceedings were wrapping up. The video starts just minutes after Pearl River County Sheriff's Office said 49-year-old Tanya Saucier shot and killed her husband, James Saucier, 62, who was indicted in August for shooting her 5 times. Loved ones of Tanya, who spoke with Fox 8, chose to remain anonymous, described a relationship that became volatile. Once they were married, things fell through. It got bad, very violent, Tanya's family member said. She said Tanya is a mother of 3, grandmother of 2, a nurse, and retired military. The woman said Tanya felt unsafe and paranoid to the point where she boarded up all of her windows. However, she acknowledged 2 wrongs don't make a right. What she's done is wrong. We have no idea what occurred during these court proceedings, Tanya's family member said. So, yeah, she might have been upset by what occurred that morning when she was in court, too. But, again, no excuse. Let's see. There is no justification. There is no excuse for anybody to open fire on somebody in a public setting like that, Owen said. She wasn't even supposed to be there. I saw her continue to shoot at Mr. James Ray. She approached me, at which point I grabbed her and held her against the vehicle, said Owen. She was screaming and yelling like a psycho. We just heard that part. Let's see here. And then it says, never been prouder. They said, all you had to do was run to Jesus. Oh. And he looked at Hannah when she said that, and he closed his eyes and squeezed her hand twice. This right here said that court documents revealed James called 911 and stated he had shot his wife in the head back in September 2023 when that happened. and his attorney and family members claim it was self-defense. And this right here tells some more of the trouble Tanya was having. She lost her eye. She's got brain issues. She has seizures. She's on medication. She's in constant pain, Tanya's family members said. The same family member said Tanya's original prosthetic eye was destroyed in a fire that also claimed most of her belongings and her 2 black Labrador retrievers. Well, that's fighting right there if somebody hurts your animals. But we do have to remember that one Facebook post I read said that she caused the fire. So that's probably he said, she said too. Records show Tanya told deputies, "He tried to kill me and I went out the back door. He was on the back porch with that pistol. As soon as I stepped out this door, he shot." Loved ones of Tanya said she was harassed. She's been tormented over and over and over again to where she lived in fear, constant fear. At 2 years old, the family said a man shot and killed Tanya's mom in front of her and her brother. Okay, so this happens when she's 2 years old in front of her own eyes and her brother. She goes to Iraq. She has seen stuff that I pray that none of us ever see. She probably doesn't get the mental health help that she deserves there. And then all of this stuff happens and she has to have a hysterectomy. It's just compounding and compounding. It says Fox legal analyst said her attorney might make a defense of lack of mental capacity, which would have to stand on its own merits. I don't think there's going to be a very good self-defense argument. She chose to take the law into her own hands and kill this man, no matter what he did to her before. She can't choose to end his life in her own specific time and place. And she has been denied bail on December 19th, so she is still in jail right now. I don't know what the next court date is. Let me see. I think that some of her family talks here. Let's watch this and then I'll let you guys go. Let me see here.
The moments after authorities say a woman shot and killed her estranged husband outside the Pearl River County Courthouse.
An attorney and courthouse staff tried to save the man's life. Ashlyn Brothers joins us with the story.
Megan, John, 2 families are grieving as a husband and wife's troubled marriage ends with one dead and the other behind bars. Chaos outside a Mississippi courthouse caught on camera as an estranged couple's divorce proceedings were wrapping up. This just minutes after deputies say Tanya Saucier shot and killed her husband, James Saucier, who was indicted in August for shooting her 5 times.
What she's done is wrong. We have no idea what occurred during these court proceedings.
Loved ones remaining anonymous say Tanya is a grandmother, nurse, and retired military. They say she felt unsafe, but admit 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Once they were married, things fell through. It got bad, very violent.
Tanya's divorce attorney says he was leaving the building in Poplarville Tuesday afternoon with James directly behind him when he heard gunshots.
There is no justification. There is no excuse for anybody to open fire on somebody in a public setting like that.
He says Tanya wasn't even supposed to be there.
I saw her continue to shoot at Mr. James Ray. She approached me, at which point...
71, it's so good to see you. Merry Christmas. Hey, Music City Mom, it's good to see you too. I hope you guys all have a Merry Christmas. I really, really do.
I grabbed her and held her there against the vehicle. She was screaming and yelling like a psycho.
He rushed to help Pearl River County Courthouse staff as they held James, applied pressure to his wounds, and used Owen's tie as a tourniquet.
Never been prouder.
Chancery Court Clerk Melinda Bowman says they prayed over him.
They said, all you have to do is run to Jesus. And he looked at Hannah when she said that, and he closed his eyes and he squeezed her hand twice.
James was set to go on trial in March for shooting Tanya last year, once in the head and 4 times in the chest.
He had been drinking. He got upset with her.
Court documents reveal James called 911 and stated he had shot his wife in the head. His attorney claims it was in self-defense.
So that family member said he had been drinking and got angry with her, but we know that's no excuse either. Yeah.
She lost her eye. She's got brain issues. She has seizures. She's on medication. She's in constant pain.
Records show Tanya told deputies, "He tried to kill me. I went out the back door. He was on the back porch with a pistol. As soon as I stepped out this door, he shot."
She was harassed. She has been tormented over and over and over again to where she lived in fear, constant fear.
I don't think there's going to be a very good self-defense argument. She chose to take the law into her own hands and kill this man. No matter what he did to her before, she can't choose to end his life at her own specific time and place.
A judge denied Tanya's bond yesterday. Now, Chief Investigator Major Scott Alley says there aren't actually any cameras at the courthouse. He says they're actively working to enhance security with funding they procured through federal appropriations.
So he said they procured that money in federal appropriations. Well, did they already have that money and hadn't put it to use yet, or what, guys? I don't know. I told you guys what I thought that some of the things that could have been changed in this situation, and I just can't believe that it took 11 months for a grand jury to indict him for those charges, for the aggravated assault and then the domestic violence with a weapon, and then for him to get out on bond. That's where the biggest problem lies that I can see. Heather Bratt says, and that's kind of where I sit with it. It was in the hands of the judicial system and she took it into her own hands. It's not okay. Absolutely not okay. Okay, Erin, I hope you have a great day and Merry Christmas. Yeah, we can, like one of her family members said, 2 wrongs does not make a right. Absolutely not. We can understand and not excuse, right, guys? Okay, now I want to show you guys, we always like to leave on a good note. So Trista sent me these videos the other day. She had 8 kittens, you guys, and the mama orphaned them, and she had to bottle feed them. And these were a lot of them didn't make it, but 2 of them did. And so I wanted to show you guys. They're the cutest videos, and she said that I could share with you guys. Let me see here. Let me take myself. While at the scene, police found Hambrick suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. According to court documents, Hambrick told officers who shot him at the scene, well, thank God that he lived long enough to tell who did it, because we might never know, It says Hambrick was transported to Grant Medical Center where he succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced dead Wednesday afternoon. So he passed away a week ago today. So now
somebody's watching TV.
How cute was that, you guys? They were watching me, and I couldn't tell if he liked my voice or he was trying to get away from me or what. I don't know, but I thought that was just the sweetest. And I have one more short one here. The arrest warrant went about Darrell when he was killed, but he said that there was another unnamed associate when he was shot. So there's at least that person that hasn't been caught yet. How sweet was that, you guys? I love them. Yeah, I couldn't. One of my friends said he might have been looking at my kitty here and my doggy. That might have been what he was looking at, huh? That's what it was, I believe. Bless them. They're adorable. Yeah, she had to get up every few hours and tend to them, I think. So we had a really bad case today, but I'll leave us on those good notes. And thank you to my friends who come and help me mod. You don't know how much I appreciate you guys. I really couldn't do this without you. You guys could have a chat and just hang out without me down there. So you could do without me, but I couldn't do without you guys. So, and like Neat said, take care of yourselves during this time because a lot is going on and we always want to do stuff for others, but we have to remember ourselves too. And most of all, the reason for the season, which is Jesus's birthday, there is a really good depiction of the birth of Jesus that I watch every year, and I'll share it on my community tab. It's like a real movie, you guys, and you guys can watch that, and it's good for kids too. It's a good movie. Trista says, yeah, that's a good possibility. They're still at that age where everything's a toy. Well, they're just precious, and we love them. And thank you for sharing them with us. And you guys know the drill. Don't forget to say your prayers and to take your vitamins. It's really, really important during these winter months, you guys. Okay, I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.